Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coffee, Kegs, and Kriegsspiel. I'm your host, Marshall, and it is time for our, a June update, basically. I'm going to go over a number of topics. I thought about, what did I want to talk about today? I even asked the audience out there. I didn't quite get anything that I felt was solid. The big problem isn't you, it's me. And we get immediately into the excuses and lies portion of our show, which is the title for today and the start of the show. And that simply being that my brain isn't going, isn't working the way it should. Elevator isn't going all the way to the top. I had a really late night last night, plus, I have been ill. I've got a cold, and I've had it for not quite a week since I think Wednesday of last week, so about 5 days now. I feel like I am on the mend, but this morning I'm very congested. I'm just not well. So I've been having a hard time with that. Now, you may notice that we didn't have a show last Sunday. That's because it was Mother's Day. So I have a mother and a wife. So those things kind of, took precedent. And then there will not be a show next Sunday. But the reason why there's not a show is because I am running an in-person Kriegspiel down in Los Angeles for the Southern California Kriegspiel Society. Technically now the International Kriegspiel Society as well, but I'm going to be running a live Kriegspiel down there. It's Star Wars, and it's basically Battle of Endor. So I will try to take some pictures. Well, I will in fact take some pictures, and I'll see if I can't get an update pushed out to the Patreon as well as to here on IKS Main. So if you are a member of the IKS and you're hanging out on Sunday, a week from right now, actually a little about the game will start about 10 o'clock Pacific time. You'll be able to see some of those updates and see how the actual human players do in a live game. So we'll take a look at that. That should be pretty interesting to everybody. So I hope you find it exciting. And if it is successful, I'll bring the game probably back here to the IKS and run it as a game. However, in the meantime, let me take a look here. I want to take a look at my agenda here because I went over a number of topics. Here we go. Number one was excuses and lies. I think I've given you enough excuses and lies. Third Sunday in June is Father's Day. I'm going to try to do a show. I just don't know what's on tap for that day. And then, of course, just June is just a busy month. But we do have some pretty exciting things coming up. So let's talk about what we have coming up. And I'm going to go now to my Google Drive, and I am going to open a cool little surprise that I'm working on for everyone and let you have a sneak peek of it. And it's right here, and it's American Civil War Kriegsspiel. Kriegsspiel 2023. I might change it, make it 2024. We'll see, but I think it's because it's coming out in 2023. I am doing a Civil War rule book, and I am taking lessons that I've learned from K22, and I'm incorporating them into this new this new rule book. For example, mentioning key concepts up at the front rather than making you kind of sift through the whole rule book. I'm putting this up front. In fact, I may take and create a version of this for K22 as well, just to make life easier for people. Let's see here. I'm just checking my live stream. Man, my live stream's really lagging. Um, but yeah, I've got that going on. So this is going to be an American Civil War Kriegspiel. I'm again taking lessons from K22. One of the big things that you might notice is I am doing something a little bit different. Let me see here. I'm using D12s. I believe I got that from Blazer, who used D12s in his Civil War system, which was itself a modification of K22. And what I learned was that rolling D10s doesn't quite give me the range of results that I am satisfied with. Originally, when I did K22, it was with D8s. I found that those were completely insufficient because you just can't get that range of results that made me happy, that felt realistic. So I went to D10s, and that helped. but I do think going to a D12 is really the sweet spot there. You don't want too many possibilities because that waters down the die roll modifiers. So let's say you have a unit and it's like behind a wall and you want to give it a +2 DRM. Well, if you're using a D8, that's really powerful. A D10, it's still pretty powerful, but once you get to like a D12, that's not quite so powerful. At the same time, you also don't want DRMs to be overpowered. So you have to find that right balance. And I think the correct balance is probably on the D12. And that's what I'm doing there. I'm also using base 12 as my system. K22 uses base 10. We all count in base 10. We're all familiar with base 10. We know that 1 is 1, 5 is 5, 10 is like, but on a scale of 1 to 10, we always say eh, 10 is kind of natural for us to use. But when it comes time to do the calculations in your head, and really the system is based on speed, when you're trying to do things quickly, base 10 can start breaking down because what is half of 5? Well, it's 2.5. But now, what if you have multiple halves of 5? Then you have to sit there and you're starting, you're working with decimals and fractions. Now, in small amounts, most adults can do this very quickly, but it's just simple if you work with more whole numbers than breaking numbers in half. So, base 12 allows me to break things in half a little bit better. There will probably be occasions, in fact, there will definitely be occasions where you have a unit, like let's say here's a unit with a combat value of 8 and it takes a disruption hit for 1. Now you're working with the number 7. But that's not really much different than working with, a number 3 or a 4 or 2.5 or something. But in general, this should be easier, especially when it comes time to tracking losses. So that's kind of what's coming up there. I apologize. This is probably hard for you to see, I realize. Um, but yeah, we're working on this. So when is this going to come out? When will you get to play with this rule set? And how do you get this rule set? As you know, I put a lot of work into this, so I offer it for sale. It's a way of keeping me in the hobby and keeping things going. I do have a lot of expenses that come about, not only for the IKS, which people have contributed by buying things in the store. The store doesn't really bring us a lot of money, maybe like $1 on a purchase. But these are the things that pay the bills for the IKS and just keeps the system running. If I've got something going on down in Los Angeles, well, we need materials for that, maps and so on. That gets expensive, so this helps with it. Um, and that's what I use that for. Financially, by the way, the IKS is in really good shape, so don't worry about that. Paying the web hosting, paying all of that stuff that we do, the software that allows us to edit on the back end, all of that's handled. So don't worry about the IKS as far as money is concerned. We don't need any money. But yes, I do sell these on our Etsy store. I'll show you the Etsy store real quick so people can see. It's called Kriegs Depot. And let me just kind of go here. Actually, I should just go to it through the website, right? I'll just go to the website, kriegsspiel.org, and you can go shop and get your merch and you see the store. Okay, so that's there. All right, neither here nor there. You can get these rules for free if you are a subscriber on our Patreon. So if you are on the Patreon, all of our Patreon subscribers will get the rules for free when they subscribe to the Patreon. And let me see if I can pull that up and show it to you. And why do you want to do this? Again, the Patreon also helps us out, but the cool thing about it is, oh, what a mess here. You'd think it's my first day on the internet, right? It's our podcast here, and you go to our Patreon, and it's right here, and you can support us just $5 a month. And I've had a couple people come in at the $5 for a month, get the rules, and then bounce out. I guess whatever. It's cheaper than spending the $20 on the rules, whatever. No big deal though. People do what they can. But yeah, you support us, you're going to get the free rules. You also get the K22 rules for free as a result of being a patron. Um, Otherwise, I am going to start play testing these rules in. This is where I want to be right here. I'm going to start play testing these rules in. June. So I expect to have this done in June. I am running a live game in June here in San Luis Obispo, which is near where I live in Central California, coastal California. I'm running an American Civil War Kriegsspiel. So this system has to be done by then. I've got about 4 or 5, about 4 weeks to get it done. I would also like to get some play testing in. So I'm going to get this done. I am about, I want to say two-thirds through the rule book, but I think that's a lie. I'm more like halfway through it. I have the artillery stuff to work out. This is different because, like, your cavalry types are a little bit more simple because you don't have all the great variation in cavalry, and the cavalry isn't as powerful in terms of they're used as the arm of decision, if you will, in a battle. So you don't have to worry about, oh, well, but the cuirassiers and the lancers, oh, these guys, hit really hard. You don't have to worry about that so much. But on the other hand, there was some evolution of the cavalry, right? They go from these having, shotguns and pistols and whatever they could carry to having these carbines, which are single shot, but then breech loaders. And then by the end of the war, the Union cavalry, some of them have repeating rifles, which is quite remarkable. So you get this wide variation, and that has to be written into the rules. And it has not been easy. The other issue is, yeah, here's some cavalry content there. Here, here is we also have issues with not so much infantry. I did put skirmishers in there. Actually, no, they're sort of abstracted. Sharpshooters is what I mean. I put sharpshooters in there. Um, and then, yeah, the cavalry stuff. So here's where I've left off. That's what the highlight is there. But we'll be getting into the cavalry. As you can tell, I'm using K22 rulebook as a template. But anyway, it's a lot. The other part where this gets complicated is the artillery because you have smoothbore and rifled guns, and so that stuff's going to be handled. Um, but yeah, it's coming soon. All right, it's coming soon. You can get a copy of it from the store or by subscribing to the Patreon. And I will also be running games. I'll create a module. I'll create a cheat sheet. And generally speaking, a lot of people just kind of play for free by figuring it out just from playing in the games. Pardon me. So that's just you know, it's not hard. It's not hard. So if you really want the rules, absolutely, I think there's good stuff in there that will help you run your own games. But you'll be able to play K23 as well in the IKS when the time comes. Want to say hello to Sherman, and I want to say hello to Let's Play History, who are both there. And let me check our Discord. Cookie and Helmet are in there. Hello, good to see you. I know people kind of come in and bounce out. They got a lot of things. I think people see a notification, they click it, and they hear my voice, and they just get out as fast as they can. I don't blame them. I would too. All right. Problem is, I live with me. I haven't figured out how to fix that. Okay, let's take a look at the next agenda item here. IKS Birthday and Awards. Okay, yes, we do. We are coming up on our birthday, which is technically May 30th, 31st, whatever. That was when we made the decision to create the IKS. The IKS was originally the Southern California Kriegsspiel Society. All we had was a Facebook page, and we met like we do now for a few times each year down in Los Angeles to play games. But what happened was I kept getting people from all over the world who wanted to kind of get in on this, and so they kept joining the Facebook. And at that time, there really was no way to involve them other than the Facebook page, which, by the way, we still have going. You can join that on Facebook. Just search Kriegsspiel, International Kriegsspiel Society. But COVID hit, and when COVID hit, we figured out there is a way to use Tabletop Simulator and play these games online. And so we started doing that. And originally it was very cumbersome. Like I had to have 3 computers all set up, and I used to have 3 Tabletop Simulator accounts going. It was nuts, all right, all on one internet connection. It worked beautifully though, although it was complicated, but it did work. But we had so many people like you coming from all over the world saying, "Hey, I want to be part of this." So it just kind of made sense. People were asking, can I join a Kriegsspiel group that's called Southern California? And I felt that was confusing. So I decided, look, we got all these people here. We have this wealth of knowledge and resources. Let's just build a bigger table and let's put up a big sign that says to everybody, hey, yes, you are welcome here. We changed the name. To do that, we changed the name to International Kriegsspiel Society, and we haven't looked back. We're at about, I think, 1,500 members on our Discord alone. I think our Facebook is between 400 and 500 persons. Now, obviously, only a fraction of all those people are active at any time, but we have done one of the things that I wanted to do, which is simply fill the world with Kriegspiel. Because the whole reason I started the group was I got sick and tired of umpiring all the time. I want to play. And the best way for me to play is for there to be mini Kriegspiel servers, mini Kriegspiel games, mini Kriegspiel umpires. Once we have that, I get to play, which makes me feel like the old man in Squid Games, right? But there we go. Spoiler alert. All right. Um, RVB4 is in the works. That's going to be red versus blue. We're time skipping forward to 1812, and that is coming up. Peter Fryer is running that. I am stepping out of the lead umpire role for this that one, and I am going to be participating as the Doge of Dorado, which is one of the countries in there. And in fact, you are looking, that ties into what we have going on here and our very next topic, which is secret games. Um, and yeah, if you want a piece of 1812, now's the time to get into it because we are between campaigns. But as soon as that is worked up, Peter is going to launch it and it's going to rock and roll. It will probably be more simplified than when I ran things because I'm kind of complicated. Peter wants to kind of streamline things a bit, so I think it will have less pain in it for participants. But I think it will also move very fluidly and efficiently. He's going to do a really good job with it. All right, let's talk about secret games. Um, I run secret games all the time. Why? Well, for one, I don't want to put up with observers. I created observer accounts this morning on another channel, and it was just a lot of work. But I'm gonna do it for this particular game, and you're looking at the map for it. And basically, what I did was I put together an event called the Battle of Absolute Legends, and it is on our IKS test kitchen, which is here, and I'll be posting a link to it. But I've run games here all the time. I'm running our Tournament of Champions, which you cannot spectate, but that's a fairness issue for the participants. I have to process all these turns; they're overdue for me. But right here, there's the game Battle of Absolute Legends. Battle of Absolute Legends is an invitation only participation campaign, which means I have invited all the participants, they're handpicked. Part of it is it's a way for me to kind of give back to those people who have done a lot for the IKS. I also selected people who have pretty much been here since the start or occupy some kind of a key strategic place in our organization and or have some involvement with Dorado in the 1812 campaign and so on. So I've carefully chosen the participants. This doesn't mean that I don't want people to join, just means that this here is just kind of limited access and I wanted certain individuals in certain roles. So I kind of went out and recruited them. That being said, I do run secret games all the time. I've run several secret games. I just finished a secret game right here, and I'm not going to provide many details, but Hunt for the Emperor. That one there just concluded, and it ran for a couple weeks. I did post this in IKS main. It was open enrollment, but once I had the enrollment completed, which took about an hour, I deleted everything to keep it secret. Again, this had to be secret because it's a secret mission campaign and it has bearing on the 1812 universe. So there are things that I do. I've run secret campaigns before in our 805th bombardment group. I guess I can go ahead and give this one away now. People didn't know this, but if your bomber shot down or if you got killed, I put you into a secret campaign where you're a prisoner of war. So yeah, the POW channel. So that happened there. So uh, participants who experience permadeath here didn't get to play. They probably felt that they're out of the game. Nope, I've got another experience lined up for you. I just like doing these things. I like surprises and fun things like this. And one of the things is a lot of times as an umpire, I create the games I wish I could play in. So this is my encouragement to people to create more games like this and run them. But anyway, let's get up to this here. You will be able to spectate the Battle of Absolute Legends, and I'll be putting a link to that shortly. But let's get to this. Battle of Absolute Legends is set in the 18, well, not the 18, it's set in the 17th century, early 17th century pike and shot era. We're using northern Italy as a stand in for the nation of Dorado. We're using these really beautiful maps put together by the Gobbler. He put together these maps from, I think it was like the second Austrian survey or whatever of all of this, whatever, whatever. And we are using these maps as our basis. And the cool thing about this is you can click on one of these tiles, and here's a tile. This is one tile. This is one whole map. You see how beautifully he stitched all these together? So that is one tile. And you can save this tile and create a detailed battle map from it that you can then zoom in on and actually run a full-on battle, which has been one of these holy grail kind of things that we've had a hard time doing in the past, which is allow players to move on a strat map, then zoom in for the tactical battle. Gobbler has done a tremendous service to the IKS and helped us out. So very grateful for that. Um, anyway, this is going to unfold pike and shot. It's kind of a free for all. It's a civil war. So there are 11 different factions on the map, and the factions each kind of have their own little city state or hometown city, whatever. And they have to make alliances and work it out amongst themselves. And we'll see who comes out as a winner in the end. But again, you can spectate this, and I'll be posting a link to it soon. Okay. I didn't talk about the awards. I did mention our birthday is coming up, and I think I sidetracked. Let me mention the awards real quick. And the awards is coming up. The voting for the awards is closed. James is keeping the awards sealed in a Price Waterhouse mayonnaise jar in his kitchen pantry. But when it is time for the results to be read, they're going to come out, and we are going to read, uh, present the awards, and it will be done right here on this format, probably at this hour on this show. And that's going to be sometime in early June, so in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I think in 2 weeks we're going to have the IKS awards ceremony. So come in here, see if you get an award, see who gets the award. There'll be some humor and some fun stuff. I'm trying to do something with the roast. I don't think I have anybody volunteering to roast anybody. A lot of people want to be roasted. I'll see what I can do. But I think I'm going to be carrying that one too. And that's okay, no problem. I like giving you guys a good ribbing, and I can take it too. So that's part of the fun. So we got that going on. But yeah, the awards will be coming up, and I want to encourage you all to attend the awards. And there will be some opportunities for you to participate during the awards show. All right, let's take a look here. Willemsa says, "Good day, sir." Peter Fryer says, "Excuses and lies. Are you sure it is us you should be discussing this with?" Absolutely. The Gobbler says, "Excuses and lies. New diplomacy game just dropped." Yep. Let's Play History says, "It's probably time to lay the cards on the table." Yep, might as well just tell it all the way it is. Emmanuel Diwali says, "Second military survey of the Habsburg Empire is the best map." There are some pretty sweet maps. There are some amazingly sweet maps. And I am just absolutely grateful to Gobbler for pulling this out for us. And you can get the module. He has posted it in the IKS Maps channel. So you can get this if you have Tabletop Simulator. If not, you can go to Kriegsspiel.org, and let me show you how you find these maps. Go to Resources, go to Maps, and right here and under Europe, right here, this one here, and you can go to Maps of Europe and 19th century, and boom, there you go. Okay, so it's all right there. You just zoom in. You just zoom in wherever you want to go. and then you pull this out and you just stitch it together, and you can create a working map, uh, down to the tactical level. So it really does work. Really does work. Hey, what's that terrain feature? Oh, it's sand. Okay. Let's take a look here. Peter says it's always good to drop in a nice secret game for a select player or group. It adds additional flavor and experiences for the players, which, yeah, I love doing that. Um, Jan says, I await the day when Gobbler, he means Gobbler, has done this with all the Habsburg survey maps. Well, it's a lot of work to put on Gobbler, but if he does it, then we'll be all the more grateful for him for doing so. And I do hope he does it, and I hope he gets to play on these maps because that's the payoff, you know? Look at all this. Oh my gosh. Hey, is this where the aliens are? Is this the alien? You know, it's like Area 51. What do you do there? It's Area 15, huh? Not in Nevada, but anyway, I think it just hasn't loaded. But anyway, Emmanuel says I bought some of the sheets for Kriegsspiel with my friends, and yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things you can do is you can buy a printed version or sheet from one of these maps, and you can use it for Kriegsspiel. Works phenomenal. All right. Well, that's kind of what I have for you today. I did promise I would stop talking when I got to the end, but I do want to allow questions and comments from anyone out there who has something they want to say or ask or talk about. Let me go back here. So if you have anything you want to do, just raise your hand in the audience and I can bring you on stage and you can talk at us. I want to say hello to Cookie Hunter, Lord Hugs, Peter, Helmet is here, ARP. So hello to all of you and thank you for being with us today. All right, I don't see any hands going up. That means I'm off the hook, right? Didn't you hate that in school when the professor was like, okay, we can go a little early today unless someone has a question. And there's always that one person, professor, what is this question that is easily answered if I had just done the reading the night before like I was supposed to? Well, let me tell you, and there's bam. Oh, I hated that. I hated that. That was the worst. I always want to just grab the book and throw it at him. Read it. Oh, well. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. That's the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for being here. Remember, next Sunday, there is no Coffee, Kegs, and Kriegsspiel, but that's because I'll be running a live Kriegsspiel. I will try to post updates from that event to the Patreon and to IKS Main so you can see a little bit of the action. And then the Sunday following that, I believe we're going to go ahead and do our awards show at this same hour. That will be a longer show, but I'm going to read off the names of the winners, and we're going to, just talk and have some laughs. It'll be right here, and I would like to have as many people up on the stage as we can reasonably fit who actually want to talk and contribute to the show, share some humor or some remembrances or whatever, as we look forward to our third new year all together. All right, that's what we have. Thank you all for being here, and I'm going to go. So I will see you.